Hear us? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, Judge, I hear you fine.
Okay, very good. Let me know as we go forward if you're having any problems hearing anyone this morning so that we can correct it, okay?
Thank you.
Very good. Let's see, position number 1, Deshaun Patterson.
Good morning, Judge. That'll be my case. Mr. Patterson is present here in court, Judge. We have filed motions. We just want to make sure if the state's ready to argue those this morning or not. We also do have another witness here in that case, the driver. So we are prepared to go forward, Judge.
And we are not. We received this calendar at that time. No particularized motion had been filed, and so therefore no witnesses could be subpoenaed. We got a notification through
That the solicitor speaking, I can't hear her.
a filing. Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So when this calendar was published, no particularized motions had been filed. We got a notification via Odyssey. I believe I received it, I believe Monday morning. It came in late Sunday night regarding an immunity motion. And so the state has not had time to subpoena the appropriate and proper witnesses for purposes of that motion. And so we would ask that it be reset, and it could be reset to a trial date, and we can hear that immunity motion prior to trial.
So
Your
that
Honor.
it was filed on the 13th.
That's correct. I received those links via evidence.com August the 11th. I filed that motion within 48 hours to be prepared for today's court date, Judge. But I'd also like it to be, if not reset to another motions calendar, to give the state enough time to prepare, or to a jury trial calendar, and we can hear the motions prior to the jury trial, Judge.
Yeah, sure, Your Honor. Just for the record, the state has to be on notice as to what it's going to be arguing. And so we did not receive that until Monday.
And Judge, we didn't receive the videos till the 11th of last week.
Well, it doesn't appear that anyone is contesting. So I'm just going to reset it to a motions calendar so that we will, I don't know when the October trial calendar will be right now. I do know when the motions calendar is. So that's October 18th at 9 a.m. Okay. Let's see. Mr. Patterson, is he and your witness free to go, Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge. But are they excused, Your Honor?
Yeah, it's fine with me. Position number 2, Rick Perry.
And Your Honor, I just asked an opportunity with the state to approach about that case, or if we could have a discussion in chambers for position 2, Judge.
Okay. Is that fine with the state?
Yes, Judge.
And I don't see Mr. Perry here. I have spoken to him. I actually have seen him yesterday. I just don't see him here, Judge, but he told me he'd be here in person.
Okay. Position number 3, Donica Sims.
Judge, that's going to be a plea as well. That's Mr. Gaither's case. He's spoken to Ms. Sims. I'm prepared to take the plea. I think she may just need a little time to get here, Judge.
Okay, so she's not here yet?
No, Judge, she's
Okay,
not.
I'll hold for the announcement. Has the paperwork already been done?
I do have the paperwork. It has not been completed, Judge.
Okay. So we'll hold for your announcement for when Ms. Sims gets here. Position 4, Quantavia Sims.
Judge, that's going to be a non-negotiated plea this morning. I've just spoken with Mr. Sims. I think he's trying to find courtroom G33 through the buildings. I may have to call him and give him some directions here, Judge, but that's going to be a non-negotiated plea this morning.
Okay. And that completes the calendar for this morning. So let's see. We'll have
I guess if
let's
we
have
could
a
take.
talk on Mr. Perry's case, if you all would like.
Okay.
And so court will be in recess until either Ms. Sims, Mr. Sims, Ms. Sims, or Mr. Sims shows up. Okay, this is going to be position number 3, Donica Sims. Ms. Carter, just so that you know, the courtroom next door, they're having some issues with their audio. It's very loud. If you cannot hear at any particular time, please let me know. There's nothing that we can do about their audio, unfortunately.
Okay, Judge, it's fine so far. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. May I have the paperwork, please?
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Sims.
Great morning, Your Honor.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you
Yes.
swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Oh, yes, sir.
And you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Waldrop?
Yes, Judge. This is the case of State versus Donica Sims. Ms. Sims is pleading to 1 count of DUI per se. I have sent over the null pros on the remaining charges. As Ms. Helen did indicate, this was a first DUI arrest for Ms. Sims. As such, the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served of 1 day, balance probated, to pay a $300 fine, complete 40 hours of community service, risk reduction, and alcohol and drug evaluation and any treatment deemed necessary, as well as a victim impact panel. And speaking with Mr. Gaither, I believe that Ms. Sims has completed possibly, I think, risk reduction and community service thus far. Counsel, do you stipulate to a factual basis, venue, and identification for purposes of the plea?
We do so stipulate.
Nothing further from the state judge.
Thank you. Ms. Helen?
And Your Honor, again, this is a negotiated plea. Ms. Sims will accept the probation going non-reporting once she's completed. And yes, Judge, she has documented over 100 hours of community service and has completed that risk reduction course, Judge. And she is a first-time DUI, so we are asking for a first-time DUI affidavit for Ms. Sims. But we do ask the court to accept this plea as negotiated.
So Ms. Sims, it's my understanding that in case 20 CR 002293C, you wish to plead guilty to driving under the influence less safe. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
Not at all.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Ms. Sims, when you complete all the terms, it'll go to a non-reporting status. So you'll still be on probation, but you won't have to pay the fees, and you won't have to report it on regular. You'll have to report, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Sims.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, I submitted that probation sheet. I think I just need to correct the cover page. I put less safe. I just want to correct that, make sure it says per se.
Okay. Do you want me to do it for you?
Yes, Judge, thank you so much. And I do believe we will be ready for Mr. Quintavia Sims whenever the court's ready.
Okay. So we will also give Ms. Sims where she needs to report to probation.
You did it all. You did it all. Oh, yeah, we need it.
Are we ready on position number 4, Quantavia Sims?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it's my understanding that this is going to be a non-negotiated plea this morning.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Sims.
Good morning, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you, sir. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Have to answer out yes, out loud for me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Ms. Waldrop?
Yes, Judge, this is the case of State versus Quintavia Sims, 20 CR 005-106F. Mr. Sims is charged with 1 count of carrying a concealed weapon and theft of services. Your Honor, with respect to first, the state's recommendation on count 1, the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve. And on count 2, the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve, and that is to run consecutive to count 1. For a brief factual basis, Judge, this incident occurred on October 9th of 2020 when officers Moya and Brian were on routine patrol in the area of William H. Border Drive and Gartrell Street in Fulton County. When they were traveling that area, they noticed a parked vehicle on the side of the road. The vehicle was empty. They ran the tag on the vehicle and it came back as stolen as an unreturned vehicle from Enterprise Rent-A-Car. As they were confirming that the vehicle was stolen, there were 4 individuals who attempted to enter into the stolen vehicle. Mr. Sims was identified as the individual entering through the driver's side of the vehicle. All occupants were then detained and a search was conducted. And it was determined that Mr. Sims, the defendant, had a failure to appear warrant. He was then placed into custody, and during transport to Fulton County Jail, the defendant admitted to having a firearm on his person. He was then returned to the location, searched again, where a 9mm handgun was located in his underwear. Your Honor, with respect to the defendant's history and why the state has made the offer that it has, the defendant has 6 prior arrests. Relevant arrest being a 2017 theft by taking, a 2017 burglary in the second, and a 2022 possession of stolen mail. State does not believe that the defendant is a good candidate for probation, given his prior arrest for both felonies and misdemeanors, and would ask that the court follow the state's recommendation in this case.
Does he have any convictions?
One moment, Judge. Your Honor, I do show time expired on the theft by taking. On the burglary in the second, I show that as adjudicated delinquent. And Judge, I just want to check one more source. And Your Honor, with respect to that possession of stolen mail charge, that case is currently open. That is in the DA's office, that is unindicted. And the case number for that is 22 CP 205883. And the other charges associated with that offense is possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, purchase, possession, manufacture, distribution, or sale of marijuana, as well as financial identity fraud. And that is an offense date of January 17th of last year, 2022.
And maybe I did not hear it. I'm sorry, Ms. Waldrop, the theft of services.
Yes, Judge, that is the second count.
Right, and what is that?
Theft of services is the second count in this case.
Right,
before you today.
did you tell me what, anything about that? I'm sorry if I missed it.
This was, the vehicle was reported stolen by Enterprise, so it was not returned. So he rented a car through Enterprise and did not return it.
Did he actually rent the car himself? Was he the renter of the car?
Your Honor, I don't have that information. But he was the driver of the vehicle.
Your Honor, from our information, he did not rent that vehicle in his name. So that was not reported stolen by Enterprise under Mr. Deshaun Patterson's name, but the vehicle itself may have been reported with the tag from Enterprise, Judge. So that's the information we have on that, about that theft of services from Enterprise.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Howard.
Judge, this is a non-negotiated plea. With the state's offer of 2 years to serve, we feel is egregious in this particular situation because number one, Mr. Sims is 22 years old. He's working. He does have a 3-year-old daughter. He works 2 jobs to support that daughter. When this case did come about, Judge, he did admit fault, Judge, and we want to be here to close this case out. We want to do a time served, a misdemeanor probated sentence, Judge. We are also asking for community service. He understands that he wants to be a stronger person in the community with his family and also for the Fulton County community as well, Judge. So we're asking for a certain amount of community service hours. He did serve 3 days. So he did do 3 days at the Fulton County Rice Street Jail. So we're asking for time served, 40 hours of community service, Judge. And honestly, any other conditions that the state, even a gun class, Mr. Patterson would be willing to accept, Judge, but we are asking for not the 2 consecutive years to serve. We're asking for time served, Judge.
Does he have counsel for those felony charges?
Judge, I do believe that there's a public defender. I don't know their specific name assigned to it, but I do believe that there's a Superior Court public defender on that case. I could look it up.
No, you have not spoken with that lawyer?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
Don't you think that it would be prudent to speak with that lawyer before you enter into this plea? As he might, that might affect him having this on his record as a plea might affect that charge?
Understood, Judge. I have spoken to Mr. Patterson. He would like to resolve this case. I had not spoken to that Superior Court public defender. I've spoken to Mr. Patterson. At this point, he believes they're allegations, and he's not actually too sure about the case itself, Judge. But Mr. Patterson did want to close this case out. We have discussed it. We were open to understanding if this case would be pled guilty to, Judge, but we did understand that there was that allegation, but Mr. Patterson did want to close this case out in a plea.
I am not comfortable with that. And I'll tell you why. Because, number one, if he, yes, those are just allegations, but if he comes back at another time and he has resolved those, and they are, if they're dismissed or anything of that nature, then that might possibly affect what I sentence him to in this case. Also, if he just, and I'm not his lawyer, it's up to you all, but if he pleads in this case, then they can use these allegations or not only just allegations, but they can use this guilty plea. And if he is at some point in time either going to plead guilty or be found guilty against him in that case. So I just want him to understand that this court is willing to give him time to either resolve those cases if he chooses to. You want to have a conversation with him Ms.
Yes,
Howard?
Judge, I was going to say, if this could be reset, I'd like the opportunity to speak to that Superior Court Public Defender to see where that's going. And if I can have a conclusion from that Superior Court Public Defender, then I can definitely advise this court a little bit better about what to do with this misdemeanor allegation.
I think that would be,
If we may just approach before we
yes,
conclude.
okay. All right, so just have a seat for now, and I will speak with counsel.
And just like
Well, it depends on if he turns himself in. Right. Okay, so for Mr. Quantavious Sims, position number 4, Mr. Sims is going to be reset for final plea calendar on October 4th at 1:30. Is there any further business before the court this morning that we have not resolved?
Not from the state judge.
Okay. Okay, thank you all. Ms. Carter, we appreciate your assistance this morning.
Thank you.
And is Ms.
What happened with position number 2?
Position number 2, that has been reset for December 6th for status conference calendar at 9 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate your help this morning. And Mr. Glanville, are you with me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are we going to get a different court reporter for tomorrow, or is it going to be Ms. Carter? Do you know yet?
I'm not, we do have a court reporter for tomorrow, but I'm not sure if it's Ms. Carter specifically.
Okay, I was just wondering.
I have a different location for tomorrow,
Okay, thank you, Ms. Carter.
but it is covered.
Okay, thank you. All right. With that, court is adjourned. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good one.